It's the Empty Room Podcast, Episode 8. Tonight, we talk about Brett Favre. We say goodbye to Derek Jeter. Tears for passwords and a dead groundhog. And lastly, some Doctor Who. Welcome to the Empty Room Podcast.
Empty room, empty room, the voiceless crew, and the face of the moon. The empty room, nothing is in it, everything.
It's the Empty Room Podcast, Episode 8. And we've been on a hiatus for, 3 weeks now, Eric?
Something like that, yeah.
3 weeks, because quite frankly, they don't pay us to do this yet. And we still have our other jobs that we have to do. So, for 3 weeks, we've been out of commission, but we're back on a special Sunday edition
Sunday
of the Empty Room Podcast. Welcome. Eric, how you been this week?
You know.
Yeah, I know. And you had a special request. You wanted to start off with sports today,
I
yeah?
wouldn't call it a special request. More like getting it out of the way.
All right, then. let's get it out of the way. Sports. We had a special request to talk about the NFL and the problems they've been having. We've been dormant over these past 3 weeks, and we haven't been able to talk a lot about all the issues that face the NFL. We did speak about Ray Rice earlier. I think we talked about in previous episodes how it was amazing that he only had 2 games for knocking out his fiancée in a New Jersey casino elevator. However, things have gotten excessively worse.
So much worse. Holy crap.
You have Roger Goodell, who championed himself as being the lawman. You
Disciplinarian.
You can't go against him, or hell would rain down on you.
Unless you punch the crap out of your girlfriend, then you're fine.
I was gonna say if you smoke marijuana or
If you do the grass, you're never going to play again.
However, so he took a rash of shit for just the 2 games for Ray Rice. Then the video comes out.
Then the video,
Yes, the video came out, and that changed everything.
well, it showed that Ray Rice has a hell of a hook.
Jeez. And that video
that was brutal.
And that video was sent to Goodell's office. Now,
Well, depending on who you talk to, they either got it, or they didn't, or they watched it, or they didn't. They got it and they watched it. We all know that.
I'm just surprised, and I think we're all just shocked and surprised that 2 games was the verdict. Now, after that, Goodell comes out and says, we've made a mistake. Mandatory, and we talked about this in a previous episode as well, mandatory 6 games first-time domestic violence is happened for a player, and then if it's a second domestic assault or domestic violence situation for a player,
Banned for life.
Yeah, you're out for the rest of your career. So obviously he knew he made a mistake. Now, we fast forward. Peterson's been removed from the... not Peterson, excuse me. I'll get to Peterson.
We'll get to Peterson.
Rice has been removed from the Ravens, and
He's been cut. He's been suspended indefinitely.
And he's appealing, and he's filing a lawsuit.
Is he? I didn't hear about that part.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get a nice big lawyer.
Big lawyer?
He's going
to be a heavy-set guy? Maybe 6
I was thinking powerful. I wasn't thinking physical. but whatever, man. He might be robust as a human being. But he's going to get a lawyer, and he's going to try to get back in the league. And I think he actually has a decent chance of winning.
He'll probably win.
Because of the fact that Goodell screwed this up so poorly.
Oh, yeah.
Any sort of a misstep here is going to be, hey, mistrial. You know what I mean? Like that type of, you screwed up, you got to let him back in. So the Ray Rice saga continues, and it's ugly. But then Adrian Peterson.
Oh, the golden boy of the Vikings.
Well, he was a hell of a running back, and I guess still is, but he was arrested for abusing his child. And that is dreadful as well. I mean, I guess he beat his little 4-year-old boy with a switch, but he left marks. I mean, he
everywhere.
He cut him up pretty good. The worst part for me was that he took the leaves from the branch and stuffed it in his kid's mouth while he was doing it. Really awful, awful things. And I know, Eric, you're not a parent, but I am. And I've never even once remotely thought of punishing my child that way. Like, it just never ever
No, not
occurred to
that
me.
way. No.
You know, spanking one or two, yeah, sure, on the bum with my hand, that's about it. But there's nothing like that. I mean, that's just above and beyond the pale. Now he's suspended, and the black eye for the NFL keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And what's worse for me, really, is that Goodell's a liar. I mean, he's obviously lying about something when it comes to all this stuff. And they're still more worried about the name of the Redskins than they are with this domestic violence stuff that is happening in their league. And it's not just Rice and Peterson. There's other stories and other guys in the league that are doing this stuff. Some have been suspended, some haven't. But it's really amazing how ugly the NFL has looked this season. And usually it's Teflon. Usually nothing gets in the way of the NFL.
Yeah, it's been a good road for the NFL. Like, nothing can touch them, as you said. But unfortunately, I don't think this has dimmed the ratings at all. And I kind of was hoping it would, just so like, oh, they're costing us money.
Well, what's interesting is that they were really making a push this year, and this is no word of a lie. I've read that they were really making a push to try to get more women viewers. And then in that quick span of time, you have a fiance getting knocked out, a child getting abused, some other stories that are ugly, and Roger Goodell looking very limp and uninterested in dealing with this situation. So I'm pretty sure that female viewership is down more now. I don't have the facts.
I would think so.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I would assume, and assuming is kind of a bad thing too, but I would gather that female viewership's down.
I would think so, yeah.
So the NFL's in a world of trouble.
Good.
And I think the only way it gets settled is if Goodell steps down. Problem is, the owners have no interest in removing him.
No, he makes them money.
Number one. And number two, he does their dirty work.
It's true.
For example, if you look at it, again, not being on the inside, you don't know what's actually happening. You only hear stories through news and whatnot. But if on the outside looking in, if I had to make a guess, I would gather that important players probably get preferential treatment when they screw up because those are the guys that make money for the owners. And if Goodell gives lenient sentences to these guys, it benefits the owners because they can keep making money. Again, outside layman's view, we don't know what actually happens on the inside, but that would make sense.
Yeah, it would.
So until Goodell leaves and they get a new sheriff in town, I think it's more of the same, and then deflect, and come Sunday, everyone likes the football.
Yeah.
So
the reign of the flaccid disciplinarian continues.
I don't know how to segue from the word flaccid. However, I want to talk about Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo.
Very talented point guard who has trouble shooting the ball,
Bit of a dick.
but has an incredible handle, plays for the Boston Celtics. And,
Not anymore.
Well, he still does. However, his issues have been that since the big three, a.k.a. Pierce, Allen, Garnett, have left, he feels he's the man and tries to score a lot, and they end up losing a lot of games. But that's not entirely his fault because the talent level is down pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I mean,
over
the
there.
Celtics just suck.
However, they drafted in the first round of the NBA draft this year a point guard,
Lucky for them.
Marcus Smart. And everyone's kind of looking at the Celtics going, well,
Who's going to start? Who's going to start? Well, we have that answer.
are those guys going to be able to play together? Are they going to coincide? And Rajon made it very easy.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Apparently,
Apparently.
and I love these stories
In
because
quotes.
it's really, I'm making the air gesture fingers here. Apparently slipped while taking a shower and broke his hand. Is that
Broke
accurate?
his hand. Underwent surgery and is out 6 to 8 weeks.
So, Mr. Smart, you're up.
You're up, Smarty.
That's a mild problem for the Celtics, mainly because if they are looking to shop Rondo around, they cannot
No, they can't.
because he's injured. So,
Let's hear it for another lottery pick. Let's go for top 5.
But we have tons of lottery picks, Eric. We have lottery picks on lottery picks. If only lottery picks could score 20 a game.
You never know.
But I love these types of injuries because you think to yourself, perfect, elite athlete slips in the shower and breaks his hand.
Well, the bathroom is the most dangerous place in the home.
But these guys have better balance than us. These guys are stronger than us. These guys are more flexible than us. These guys are the elite athletes basically in the world. You're talking professional athletes tend to be the elite physical specimens in the world.
Well, yeah, but they're still human.
Slip, fall, break hand while taking a shower? What was he doing in the shower? Who was he with in the shower?
No, you know what? Well, I don't think we should ask these questions. I think we should just leave well enough alone because I don't think we're going to like these answers.
Go smart.
Go smart. Bring us another lottery pick.
Because having 17 already isn't enough.
Well, it's not.
Speaking of injuries, Eric, David Ortiz is sitting out the rest of the season, which is now just one game. When I found the story, it was 4. But now it's just 1. But he's out for the rest of the season.
Well, yeah, he had a wrist thing, didn't he?
He's always injured.
He's not always injured. He played the entire season.
Injured, I'm sure, because he's always injured.
Oh, yeah, injured. He went 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Injured.
Well, he still might be injured.
Well, everyone's banged up.
Yeah, everyone's hurt. But how many Red Sox now is that finished off on the injured list? Which, I mean, obviously the plan was to let the kids play after they were out of
Yeah,
contention.
I mean, the kids, they were going to let the kids play. But in terms of injuries, you have Pedroia, who was shut down. Napoli was shut down. Big Poppy was shut down. Shut down? Shut down. I meant shut down.
Was there any truth to the rumor that the manager Farrell was shut down?
He injured his brain.
So the kids got to play, and I really like this kid, Mookie Betts. He's pretty cool.
Mookie.
I got to see him play in Pawtucket, and it was really neat. He's a
really
talent.
he's really doing good. I'm glad to see that
Giacchini?
No,
Bogarts?
Bogarts is doing better. He's hitting 310 in the month of September.
I think Bogarts was a case of, he did so much.
They shouldn't have switched his position.
Well, that too, but they did so much. He did so much during the World Series run, and everyone just made that natural jump to he's going to do this all the time. Remember, when you come up and you play as a rookie in those big-time positions, as long as you're not flustered by the pressure, no one has any stats on you. No one has a game plan against you. So you sort of figure it out. A lot of rookies get big hits in the very beginning of their careers because no one has a scouting chart for you. So Bogarts steps into this world, and it's right at the end. No one really has anything on him. He gets some big clutch hits, and everyone's like, yeah, this is the guy. But now, as the season has gone, they've had a lot of time to scout him, understand the holes in his swing. I mean, ask Jackie Bradley. They figured out his holes in his swing pretty darn fast, and dude couldn't hit over a buck. So I think the scouting and the stuff, I think next year Bogarts is going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be fine.
But I think this year it was like...
And I still have some faith in Jackie Bradley Jr. because at the time that they sent him down, he was actually on a 5, 6, 7 game hitting streak.
Hell of a fielder, by the way.
Oh, God, yeah.
Hell of a fielder. And
That's the reason enough to keep him because he's just probably one of the best center fielders I've ever seen.
But he might be a valuable trade chip, too, because if he can't hit, which, by the way, there's been many great fielders who had struggled hitting the ball. There's a place for you in the league, but you got to have a solid lineup so you can put Bradley at the 9th or 8th slot.
Well, I mean, we've been
But the Red
racking up.
Sox don't have a solid lineup.
Well, we've been racking up the runs lately.
Yeah, well, perhaps.
We scored 10 last night.
Right, but it was a weird 10.
No, it wasn't a weird 10.
I'm kidding. Point is that there's definitely uncertainty for next year's team in terms of the lineup. And Jackie Bradley Jr. might be a great chip to go to a playoff team who has a solid, reliable lineup that he can hit 8th or 9th in. They don't need him. They just need him to field the hell out of the ball. That might be worth something to somebody in the future.
Nah, I say we keep him.
All right, fair point. What the hell am I talking about?
We don't know.
Eric, are you a fan of Brett Favre?
No, never liked him.
Really? Even when he was slinging the ball for the Packers back in the day?
Into the other team's receivers?
He was really good at that.
Yes.
He could chuck it.
You could chuck it right to the other team.
It's
That was
fun
awesome.
how when the media likes you, even though you hold a record for touchdowns, you also hold the record for most interceptions, and you're still just a gunslinger as opposed to a guy who gives the ball away half the time.
Yeah. And he retired like 12 times.
Well, that too. But you know who else was like that, Eric? One Drew Bledsoe was a giver and taker. And the media wasn't so nice to him as opposed to Brett Favre. Well, you know why? Because Brett Favre was loved by John Madden. If you're loved by John Madden, you get a pass.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Brett Favre, swinging back to the NFL problems, hopes that these situations raise a serious discussion for football in America. What do you say to that, Eric?
Go back to emailing your junk to people.
I think Brett Favre should go away. I don't understand why he's even being asked anything about this at all.
Work on your farm if that's what you're doing. I don't care what you think.
Who was the bright idea to contact Brett Favre about the NFL problems right now?
I don't know. Probably ESPN.
Some guys, I got an idea.
I have an idea. Let's talk to Brett Favre.
He was in Something About Mary. I love that movie. He must have some wise words on the problems of the NFL and domestic abuse.
No, his field is sexual harassment.
What do you think about domestic abuse? Well, I'm against it, but I will send my picture to some lovely married ladies.
They love my junk.
Man,
Go away, Brett. Just go away.
Just go away. I mean, I don't know if you've been forgiven for those transgressions about sending things, but yeah, you're just not the right guy to be talking to about these situations. So, and lastly, it's not entirely relevant to what we think, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it is news and there is a respect factor, don't you think, Eric?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Derek Jeter.
Oh, yes.
Derek Jeter's last game is today, ever.
Ever.
And then a couple of days ago was his last game in Yankee Stadium, ever. Mm-hmm. Assuming he doesn't make a comeback, which is popular.
I highly doubt that he will.
All right, we'll assume he does not because he is Derek Jeter, and that would be kind of, I don't know, beneath him to come back after 30 years, 40 years, 70 years of playing baseball. So
It's 20.
70?
Sure.
Okay, 70 years. So, as Red Sox fans, how do you feel about it?
Well, he's probably one of the only Yankees I've ever kind of respected. 20 years, one team.
That's
You gotta respect that. You gotta respect that.
Yeah.
His talents have eroded quite a bit over the years.
Well, that's the big controversy, right? The Yankees are actually chasing a playoff spot, and they kept Derek in the second hole and at shortstop, and he's batting like 140.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm glad.
Whatever.
I don't care. I'm glad they missed the playoffs.
I don't have a dog in this fight at all. So
No.
I just thought that was interesting and worth noting that that's what a lot of people have been talking about. He's the captain. Yeah, but you could have made the playoffs and you're batting 120 and you're number
Nah,
two.
they couldn't have made the playoffs. They weren't that good of a team.
No, oh man. The stats say that was the case, that they were in shouting distance.
Well, the stats suck. No, I don't know.
But
They didn't seem like that good of a team to me. Their pitching was okay. Tanaka was fantastic, but he was the only one that was doing really good. I guess I don't follow the Yankees. What the hell do I care?
the point is, do we respect the man?
Sure,
Are we happy for him?
that he's leaving. Yes.
Yes, no more Derek Jeter. No, as from my perspective as a Red Sox fan, I always, the guy, he was like Shane Battier for me on the Miami Heat.
Who?
Shane Battier
Who?
on the Miami Heat.
Oh,
Shane Battier
who?
was a player out of Duke who, very successful player, but a role player for the Heat with the LeBron James crew. And I always kept saying, because he would hit big shot after big shot, and he played the game the right way because he was taught the right way. I always kept saying, God damn you, Shane Battier. I can't stand you, but damn it, I respect you.
I can't stand you, but I respect you.
I mean, that was the line from Mantooth in Anchorman. Ron Burgundy, I can't stand you, but damn it, I respect you. And that's how I feel about Derek Jeter. Just, didn't like him at all because he was always on the hated Yankees, but you got to respect the man. He was talented. He did it, quote unquote, the right way, and I'm glad to see him go.
Boobs.
Okay. It is Sunday afternoon, so we're going to do the news, but we're minus the booze today.
Yes, no drinking for me. I have to do stuff later.
So, the booze that might make Eric want to snooze?
Let's just move on to the news.
Okay. First things first, it is, I wanted to say prophesized, but that's not the right word to use.
It be prophesied.
It's predicted that in the future for smartphones, tablets, and even laptops, that passwords will be phased out. And Eric, your tears will be your password. Eye tears, crying. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm going to have to get more emotional about my phones.
Apparently, from what I read in the article, everyone's tear material is unique to that person. So what would happen would be that your tablet, phone, whatever, would scan your eye, and you'd have to wet your eye somehow, get emotional, I guess, or bat your eyes till your tear ducts work.
I was starting to think that you had to like rub your eye against your phone.
But then the scanning of the tear material would be your password, and then those things would open and you could access them.
What if you're not in an emotional mood? That means you can't use your phone.
I guess you have to pinch yourself really hard or kick yourself or... Look,
Stab myself in the leg.
I need you to insult me really badly or punch me in the face. Which...
Kick me in the nuts! I gotta text somebody back.
My phone won't open. Someone kick me.
I have to write an important email. Someone punch me in the face.
And the stomach might hurt too. But so, I don't know. I guess that's a possibility. I guess for me, I didn't realize that tear material was unique to everybody. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think, Eric? You gonna keep your password? Or you gonna go with the
Oh man,
tears?
that means I have to find someone who will be my designated face puncher. I gotta, maybe a separate person to be my designated ball kicker.
Oh, how about just an app that insults you incredibly, or maybe an app that tells you lies that will make you sad, or I don't know. Your dog died today. Sorry. Oh.
And that backfires when you don't have a dog.
Yeah, valid point.
Your dog died today. I don't have one. I don't care.
I might keep my password for a little longer. Actually.
Yeah, I think so.
So. How old are you, Eric? Don't answer that.
Okay.
But 1 in 4 Americans are not working, and that's the age 25 to 54. And I pretty strongly believe you're within those age groups. You're in that demographic. 1 out of 4 Americans are not working in that age group. That's 28.9 million people not working, collecting government benefits and assistance.
I don't know anything about that, mostly because I'm working 2 jobs.
It's a lot of people not chipping in here.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's a lot of people taken. That's not good.
Bunch of takers.
Not good. We keep hearing about the problems in America and the problems with the economy, and we got to find something for people to do. I don't. I guess let me take a different take on this. I don't understand what you can do every day. Like,
I'm just gonna sit around playing video games.
I mean, these artists are these thinkers. You need to have something to do, right? Even if work is a bear, and a lot of times work is stressful, and I understand that.
Jobs suck.
But at the same time, you need something to do, and you need to chip into the. You
have to do your part.
You need to do something. I don't know. I remember when I was struggling to find work about 6 years ago. I was miserable because I didn't have anything to do besides look for work, and you can do that for so long, get turned down so many times, only for so long, and then you're kind of all right. I'm done for today. But I just don't understand how that many people can be out of work.
No, I don't know. I
don't think it's that, but I do think that having government assistance help you to the point where it's not necessary for you to find work might be an issue.
And a lot of people take advantage of it too.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there are people out there that take real advantage of the system, and it's just not good.
Not good.
Is there anything happier in the news?
Well, there is a position opened up for those. Obviously, there'll be 28.9 million people applying for this position, but a New York mailman has lost his job and is facing charges. For the last 5 years, mailman in New York, he had been hoarding 40,000 pieces of mail. He didn't deliver them. He just held on to them.
What was he doing with them?
I don't know. I don't know. They found him in his house, in his basement, in the back of his car, and I don't know. 40,000 pieces of mail that he was supposed to deliver and just chose to hold on to over a 5-year span.
Wow, that's commitment. But he's also fired.
He's fired, so there's a job available.
Oh, good. Now, if I can just get past the other 29 point what million?
28.9 million.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That makes it better.
I think your point is valid, Eric. What the hell was he doing with all the mail?
No, I mean,
no packages. At least that's not what the article said.
yeah, well, that's good.
So,
But, he was hanging on to people's bills. We got to pay that shit,
yeah, I mean, that's not good.
Personal correspondence. I want to know what happened to Missy's dog.
That's right.
I don't know a Missy. I don't.
How many people didn't get their People magazine?
Lots of people.
Well, that's a crime in its own right.
Well, people need their people.
People. All right. Our military, will allow illegal aliens to serve. How do you feel on that one?
I like that. I actually really like that.
Yeah.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to care to talk a little bit more about why you believe that's a good one?
No. No, I know. I think I like the idea of illegal immigrants for whatever various reasons they feel the need to break the law to get in here, whether they're doing it through nefarious means or whether they're just desperate.
And desperation's a lot of it.
Yeah, desperation is a lot of it.
Yep.
To serve is, they're not just, taking all our jobs or whatever. They're
That was awesome, by the way.
they're going to serve and give something back to the country, and I'm like that's a good thing.
Yeah, interestingly, I agree with you. I thought when I read the article, my gut reaction was, well, that shouldn't happen. But then I turned my mind around on it. I said, you know what? That's actually a perfect way. If you come in illegally, for whatever reason, you stated it beautifully. This is an opportunity to serve the country, and that's all of us ever want. If you're going to come in here, sign the guest book. That was my favorite Dennis Miller line. I don't mind that you're coming, but just sign the guest book. and I believe that. More the merrier. But I do have a problem with illegals coming in, getting involved in the economy, not paying any taxes when the rest of us have to, and getting free stuff everywhere. That's just, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right. But if you want to serve in the military, you want to protect this country that we all love. Yes, that's a great way to get citizenship for me.
Get citizenship.
That's perfect. Sure.
Do their thing. I
Yep.
like it. I like it.
So that's a good one. I think I'm going to call that a good story.
Good story. It's a good news
I'm
story.
going to call it a good story. Although probably within the next week we'll read something horrible about it.
Yes, probably.
Because it is the news. And lastly, and this one's my favorite, Eric. I've been waiting for this one.
Oh, we're waiting. Bated breath.
The mayor of New York, de Blasio.
Melania?
I'm not a fan.
No.
He's a socialist weasel.
Okay.
Not a fan. Now, that being said, they voted him in. New York gets what they get. Right?
Sure.
So de Blasio was voted in. He's the mayor. And he,
Not only is he, what did you call him?
socialist weasel.
Socialist weasel. He's also a murderer.
He is indeed, Eric. And I'm hoping they catch the bastard. But the story goes as this. Last year, Groundhog Day, de Blasio helped take part in that, and he was holding the groundhog. Now,
Did the groundhog see its shadow?
apparently, first off, the zoo lied. The zoo supplied the groundhog. The groundhog was not Phil.
It wasn't Phil?
It wasn't Phil.
It wasn't Phil.
It was a female. So we have no idea who this... What happened to Phil is the first mystery. But Puxatani's in, I believe that's Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so I mean, the real Phil's over there. But what happened to... Well, whatever. It's a mystery for another day.
Yeah.
So it was a female groundhog. De Blasio's holding him.
Her. You're dumb.
Holding her. Whether she was scared of socialist weasels, or she was scared of her shadow, or she was scared, or just hungry. Who knows? De Blasio dropped her. And if you see the video, she flipped out of him.
That sucks.
So a day later, this poor animal dies due to the injuries of being dropped.
Murder.
Now you think that would be enough, but it's not. The Staten Island Zoo hid this from everybody up until yesterday.
Why?
Bad press for de Blasio? I don't know.
It was an accident, even though he's a murderer.
It was. I've seen the video. It's not like he spiked her. You know, it's not like he punted her. It's not like he did anything. Like I'm sort of with de Blasio on this one. It was sort of one of those. Oh. You know, like it's a wild animal. What do you want? Is the Groundhog Day kind of a weird sort of tradition? Sure.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything to maliciously kill the animal.
No, he wasn't trying to kill the thing.
But the cover-up is worse than the crime.
I know. What the hell are they thinking?
Why is Staten Island Zoo hiding? Why did they hide this up until yesterday? I don't know.
It was an accident. Get over it.
Yeah,
It happens.
Those things, yeah, just so weird.
Bet
so
you
weird.
PETA's going to be all over this shit,
so
too.
so weird. Makes me wonder what other sort of strange cover-ups are out there. Again, not a fan of de Blasio, but he's not the wrong on this one. Just sort of happened. Staten Island. Staten Island, you have to decide something. You have to figure out what's going on. I don't like your practicing right now. Hiding stuff. Not cool. Hiatus for 3 weeks. We haven't talked about our main guy.
Are you talking about the Pope?
I'm talking about the Pope.
Oh, I love that guy. He's such a good guy.
It's the Pope Watch, Eric.
The Pope Watch.
The legendary, famous Pope Watch.
Yes, indeed.
And we've missed a lot. He's had some moments.
Good.
Shall we talk about it?
Of course.
Let's start with the fact that 3 weeks ago, due to all the unrest in the world, ISIS, bad stuff happening in Iraq, Afghanistan,
Yes.
other problems, economic problems, I'm sure. The Pope announced that, whether we know it or not, World War III is already underway.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. This shit has been going on for a while.
I was. Do you think the entire world's ready for World War III?
No, this is gonna be bad.
Well, I'm hoping we can head off at the past. I'd like to avoid a world war in my children's future.
Yeah,
It's true. I'd really like not to go that way.
I'd really like not to happen.
So, when the Pope says World War III is underway, I quake a little in my boots. It's the Pope.
Well, it's not like he declared war.
Can you imagine that? The Vatican declares war.
What are you doing?
He did bless some bombing. Remember that?
It's true. He was very blessful.
He blessed the bombing of the original ISIS
airstrikes.
Yeah, was it ISIS that they were bombing their initial?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't like the ISIS.
He doesn't like the ISIS.
And the ISIS doesn't.
That was well put.
And the ISIS doesn't like him.
The ISIS doesn't like anybody.
They want to assassinate the Pope. They've come out and say we're coming after the Pope. And in my mind, the Pope has both arms out. Bring it down. But I don't know. It's what he did.
Nah, I don't know. Certainly, they have lofty goals.
I'll give you this though. This Pope, who we like quite a bit, is the most vulnerable Pope in a while. Because he doesn't use the Pope-mobile. He likes to be amongst the people. He doesn't sleep in the guarded city. You know what I mean? Like, he's more vulnerable than most of the other guys have been.
Yeah, that could be an issue. It's time to get back in the Pope-mobile. What is this, Francis?
Mainly because we like him.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, not because we don't dig what he's doing. Like, why don't you stick around a little bit, pal?
back in the Pope-mobile. Bulletproof glass everywhere.
And ISIS can go... I mean, you touch our Pope, all hell's breaking loose.
We're just going to bomb the entire country.
Now, last week, the Pope ordered a review of annulment procedures in hopes of simplifying them.
Okay.
That's a weird one, though, man. That's when we talk about certain things that the Pope has done that are kind of more hip, more up to modern terms. That's got to go up there. Because for Catholics, for as long as I can remember, marriage was very sacred and divorce was not easily handed out. You had to...
Well, annulments were... not easily handed out. Divorces you can get all day long.
Well, really? I mean, I thought... Well, it has been a while. But I thought decades or so, divorce was still considered a very tough procedure for Catholics. No? Am I wrong on that? I could be wrong on that.
I just figured divorce was just kind of like you could do it wherever. I mean, the annulment thing, that's going through the church.
That's where God says you never were married.
It never happened.
Yeah. Either way, they don't like when couples marry and then get out of Dodge.
Well, I don't think anybody likes that particularly.
Yeah, but the Pope doesn't like that.
I'm confused.
My point is that the Pope doesn't like the Catholic Church, the Pope in general. They don't like that
The
thing.
Pope doesn't like the Catholic Church?
No. My point is the Pope and the Catholic Church do not like it when Catholic marriages are disintegrated somehow. And for him to say, all right, look, we got to review how we do annulment. That's a very big step. That's a gigantic step. Especially if it's to simplify the process, meaning, look, we got to make this a little bit more accessible for our patrons. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is rather interesting. I'm not married, so I don't know. I don't pay attention to that sort of thing. But I mean, it's kind of unheard of.
Again, taking on legacies of rules from the Catholic Church and reinvestigating them and deciding if they're good for a world that's modern, post-Pope.
Post-Pope.
Post-modern Pope. And modern is the wrong one. Post, give me a word here.
I don't know what you're going for.
The usual Pope. This is a new Pope. The post-normal Pope.
Just keep going. I want to see how far this goes.
I'm digging. I'm just digging a hole, and I'm trying to say that normal Pope works.
Oh, man.
Anywho, yikes. And lastly, the Pope denounces... Last
Yes, let's just move on.
I mean, what else are we gonna do? I'm gonna keep digging a hole, or am I gonna get out of it and try to move on with the show?
No one heard anything.
Well, I don't know.
So what would the Pope do next?
I have tears. I could actually unlock my smartphone right now and unlock my laptop. And thank you. Pope denounces perversion of religion. This is definitely aimed at Islam. It's saying, look, Islam's fine, but you do have a lot of radicals coming around killing people. You guys have to come up and denounce that, and I'm with him 100%.
Absolutely.
So, Pope's still a good guy.
Awesome guy.
I might be a bad announcer,
Pretty bad.
but at least the Pope is still a good guy. Let's turn to entertainment news, shall we? Sorry.
I yawned. Yeah, let's do that shit.
Well, I want to start off with something that I've been waiting for a while because I was always a big fan of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I liked it. You know, the first one especially.
First one was good.
I kind
Second
of
one
lost. It lost a little bit of steam with Bogus Journey. But they're going to come out with a Bill and Ted's 3, which will be coming, I believe, next year. And it's going to be Bill Winters and Keanu Reeves being old, you know, in their 40s and 50s as Bill and
Pretty
Ted.
sure his name's Alex.
Oh, did I say Bill?
Yes, you did.
I said Bill. Alex Winters, I'm sorry. This has not been a good podcast for me today.
Bill's the character. He's not real.
I understand.
Alex is real.
Okay. Wow. You know, one mistake. Actually, it's been like 7 today, but one mistake, and you get lit up like a Christmas tree in December. So, Alex Winters and Keanu Reeves will be resuming their roles.
Keanu Reeves.
There's no truth to the rumor that they're going to dig up Rufus.
Well, that's good. That'd just be creepy.
It would be creepy. However, are you looking forward to this, Eric? I guess is my question.
You know, I'll see it on Netflix, I guess.
Really? You won't go see it?
No.
No?
I'm not spending whatever they're charging at movie theaters nowadays. It's like $13
Yeah, it is expensive.
to see an aging Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter say bodacious or whatever the fuck they say. I don't know.
I don't know what they're going to say, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because very rarely do you get that type of, you know, here and now type movie. I think the last time we saw something like that was the Clerks sequel. You know, because Clerks was made when Kevin Smith and all those guys were young guys, basically fresh out of high school. Then they did Clerks 2, and they were all middle-aged people.
Well, I mean,
It
the
was
Clerks
interesting.
was, as Smith put it, Clerks was about people in their early 20s. Clerks 2 is about people in their 30s. And I think
there's a third coming, I think.
the third's going to be like a guys in their 40s or whatever.
Right.
In their, you know, middle age. Dante's going to have a crisis, obviously.
Well, that's Dante's life. It's just crisis after crisis.
No, he's going to have the midlife crisis. He's going to
Oh,
get the
sure.
shiny new car, and he's going to just go nuts, and Randall's going to be like, you're a fucking idiot.
Randall's one of my favorite movie characters of all time.
I know, Randall's a pretty good character.
That's brilliant. A lot of people obviously like Silent Bob and Jay, but really Randall's the guy that steals the show on both those movies. So again, I'm looking forward to Bill and Ted. No?
No.
All right. Good to know. See, speaking of sequels, Zoolander 2,
No.
that's coming.
I don't give a shit.
Will Ferrell will
I don't care.
come back for the role of what was his name?
I don't fucking know.
Batu or Ubuntu or something like that. And I see you didn't like Zoolander. Is that what I'm getting at?
What was your first fucking clue?
All right. We stop dropping the F bombs.
Fuck no.
Pull it together.
Fuck.
My favorite part of Zoolander is when Owen Wilson's talking about climbing up Mount Vesuvius and then falling, and he was scared to death, and then he realized that he wasn't really out Mount Vesuvius. He was doing shrooms, and he was dreaming the whole thing, which is a great scene. I like Zoolander quite a bit, and I love that they're going to do another one. I think Zoolander, the original, is the type of movie where you watch it once and it's tough, but you watch it 5 or 6 times, it really grows on you, and next thing you know, it's one of your favorite movies. So I'm looking forward to that. Eric, obviously, is not. Wake up.
Okay.
Wake up. Well, I want to talk about South Park.
God.
I know, this is another thing that Eric... See, Eric does not like South Park, and I don't understand why, because his humor is very similar to mine, and I think South Park is the greatest thing ever created. So I don't understand why Eric fears the park.
Fears the park?
He fears it. He doesn't
I
want
don't
to deal with it.
fear the park. I actually respect South Park quite a bit. I just don't watch it.
And
I
that's
don't hate it.
and
I
that's
just don't
fine.
watch it.
And that's fine. South Park, excuse me, South Park, the new season started this past Wednesday, and they did an episode on the Washington Redskins, and it was borderline brilliant. And I say this with the idea, Eric, that they chose the side that I'm not really on in that argument. Although we both agreed in previous episodes that we really didn't care. but the one side, the side I'm on is that, you know, they should be allowed to keep their name because it's not offensive in my opinion. It's just whatever. And South
Well,
Park,
I mean, that's the idea. It's like it's not offensive to us, but it could be offensive to other people. But I've seen stories where Native Americans are like, I don't care.
yeah, they don't care. That's the point. No one cares except for the liberals, and it's kind of annoying.
Are you saying that Trey Parker and Matt Stone are now liberal weenies?
They're not liberal weenies, but they are libertarians. And they did have a really interesting way to do the show about the Washington Redskins. And, you know, just to quickly...
Spoilers.
I'm just going to do it's really quick. The boys want to create their own startup company, and they can't find a name. And because Roger Goodell, who we've talked about already, decided to pull the Redskins trademark because he felt it was racist, Cartman is now available to use the Washington Redskins for his company, a company that does absolutely nothing. So it's a great episode. I highly recommend everyone check it out. South Park, in my opinion, is the greatest satire show in the world right now.
I would agree, yeah.
There is nobody else that does it better. And I know a lot of people like Family Guy and a lot of people like The Simpsons. But with the Simpsons and Family Guy, their humor is really, it's based on simple comedic situations. And if they do go after somebody, it tends to be the same target over and over again. Whereas South Park, and you have to give them credit, even though they can be vulgar, rude, offensive even, they go after everybody. There is no sacred cow for South Park.
It's true.
They would go after any religion. They'll go after any people who think they're better than everybody else. Everyone gets a taste. Nobody's left unscathed. Their motto, if it's not funny for everyone, it's not funny at all. So they go after every single person. It's got to be funny for everything. And I think everyone should watch it because we all need to stop taking ourselves too seriously.
I agree, but I'm still not going to watch it.
Attaboy. Way to back me there, Eric. Good job. Switching gears entirely, but staying with the Redskins.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, stop it with the F-bombs, Eric. The Redskins and the Cowboys played this past week, and the Redskins got beat mercilessly.
We did sports already. Why are we talking about this?
We're talking about this because there was a problem at the stadium.
What problem?
Apparently, at the stadium that they played, they were serving Budweiser that was out of date. And fans were starting to take pictures and tweet them about how out of date the Budweiser bottle really was. And we're talking weeks We're talking months and possibly years.
Holy shit.
That the Budweiser bottle was being served. It was a travesty. So, Eric,
That's pretty funny.
if you're going to pay probably what $8 to $10 for a beer
Yeah.
at a stadium to watch a professional sporting events,
Yeah.
you get a Budweiser.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. You get a you get a Budweiser, right?
Yeah.
And you start to open it, and you look at the date, and it says November 11th, 2008. Do you drink that beer?
You know what? I might. Because no matter what, it's going to taste like garbage. Even if it was from November 2008 or, now. Budweiser's going to taste like garbage.
Do you take a picture of it and post it online? Go, what the hell?
Yeah, that I do. That I will do.
Good news is Budweiser is investigating. They're sending their people down to the stadium, and they're going to sort it all out.
This after the Anheuser-Busch's so devastating message to the NFL that we don't like what you're doing.
Well, the good news is that it took Anheuser-Busch saying, we don't like what you're doing, for anything to happen.
Yeah, and then now we're going to sell your expired bottles. I don't think so.
So, yeah, skunked beer at the NFL. The NFL can't catch a break.
I'm still kind of wondering what this is in the entertainment section.
Well, beer is entertainment. So is the NFL, to be honest with you.
Let's just move on.
All right. Well, we've come to the last story, Eric.
Already? Thank God.
We have... I wonder why I have you on. It's unbelievable. We've come to the last story, and Eric, this one is going to be near and dear to your heart. Yes. We know how you love William Shatner.
I do.
You are a giant fan.
I am a big fan of the Shat.
In fact, you're going to go and see him in November, yes?
Hopefully.
Yep.
If he doesn't die.
I might join you in that venture. That should be fun.
It's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I'm saving. My kids won't go to college because of that day, but I'm saving. So Shatner has been approached by the Star Trek series franchise movie guy.
What?
Star Trek series
Franchise movie guy?
guy?
Do you mean the director?
Yeah, who's the director?
I don't know.
Is it Jim Abrams?
Do you mean J.J. Abrams?
Isn't his first name Jim?
No.
What's the J stand for?
I actually don't know what his first name is. I really don't. No, but JJ's not directing 3.
Oh, who is?
Radner? No, not Radner. Is it Radner?
Bill Pullman?
Bill Pullman? John Paxton?
Anyway, their camp has contacted William Shatner about Star Trek 3. And
Yeah, because the writer has an idea to reunite Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner on screen for the first time since Star Trek 6.
Now, is it possible that Leonard Nimoy's already dead?
Do you think Leonard Nimoy's dead?
I mean,
He's not dead.
He looks pretty rough.
He looks rough, but he's not dead. I follow him on Twitter.
Okay.
I think I know.
So if you follow him on Twitter, does he send you a song every other week?
No.
No. Bilbo
He's
Baggins?
big in the anti cigarette thing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Well, he
surprised.
smoked for many, many, many years.
Huh.
And he has lung damage because of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's not prospering. He's living long, but he's not prospering.
He's prospering fine.
Right.
Can't
Anywho,
breathe very well.
Shatner is considering the offer, and I would guess there's a pretty good chance he'll be involved.
Well, it certainly depends. He's very particular. I make no mistake about the ego of the man. It's massive.
Well, he is Shatner.
It is Shatner, and the ego is quite big.
He's
That's
the
fine.
He's the Rocket Man.
He is the Rocket Man.
Yeah, I mean, he's the
Rocket Man.
He's the Rocket Man.
So if he doesn't like it, he's not going to do it. Hopefully he will. I think that would be awesome. I love the Star Trek.
So Star Trek.
I want another series, God damn it.
Well, It was killed by Scott Bakula. You know that.
No,
It was.
no, it
Scott
wasn't.
Bakula killed the Star
Scott
Trek
Bakula did
TV
not kill the
series.
series.
He did. He killed
It was a great series. I loved Enterprise.
I don't think you've recognized the pattern, Eric.
No, I loved Enterprise.
Scott
Enterprise
Bakula
was great.
Gets the phone call when it's time for a series to die.
No,
Yes,
that's not true.
NCIS is about to see the same thing.
No, I don't think you're. I don't think you're
You get the
correct.
phone
I don't
call-
think you're correct.
Scott Bakula waits by the phone. Actually, he doesn't wait by the phone. He sits in a black cloak with a long scepter.
What?
They call him.
What shows
and
has
goes,
he killed?
Okay.
He
He goes in and he kills a show.
How?
And that's-
I want you to
that's
give me
what
some
he does.
examples.
He is
Give me examples. I want examples. Damn it.
Star Trek. There it is.
No,
He
one
goes in
example
there
that is
and
already
he
that's already
kills
not
the
true.
show. He's got a long.
No, I want to hear some
cloak,
more. Well, I want to hear more
long
examples.
cloak.
More
And I've
examples.
heard that when he walks by mirrors, there's no reflection. He just goes in.
Scott Bakula is a
does-
great actor. Star Trek Enterprise was a great show. It was canceled long before its time. It didn't deserve the ending that it got. Did you see the final episode of Enterprise?
I did not.
It was terrible.
Really, it was a bad.
I mean, the episode itself, when it actually focused on the Bakula's crew, it was fine. But do you know what the background story was?
I don't.
It was it was a Next Generation episode.
Was Worf in it?
No,
Oh,
it was Riker and Troy.
really?
And all
They were in it?
and everything that took place with Bakula's crew was on the fucking holodeck of the Enterprise D.
Oh no! It was like a Who Shot Jr. memory thing.
No, it was. Do you remember that episode of Next Generation when I don't know if you do, Riker's old captain comes back
Yeah.
and he was part of that secret mission. They test cloaking.
Yeah.
And it was like he was trying to keep the secret from Picard and blah blah blah.
But you
It's-
can't keep anything secret. From
No, you can't
Picard.
keep it. But it takes place during that episode. He's trying to figure out what he's going to. Should he tell the captain? Should he honor his old captain? And he's using the final mission of the original Enterprise with Bakula to help him make his decision.
Well,
It was so stupid.
Yeah. That does sound terrible. I will not deny it. That sounds terrible.
They deserve so much better than that.
But Scott Bakula killed that show.
No, he didn't. He was great for that show.
All right. Well,
There are some other casting difficulties that I don't really want to get into, but he was good.
okay. Well, we
A
shall
little
see.
stiff in the first couple episodes.
We shall see.
No, I'll be honest. He was a little stiff, very hero-ish.
I loved him in Necessary Roughness.
Shut up. Stop talking. You don't know shit about shit.
Can we give our podcast fans a little bonus material?
I got shit to do.
Okay, I got Eric back in the room. He's agreed to do a little bit bonus material for this podcast. We're going to talk about Doctor Who. We haven't seen, we haven't talked about Doctor Who since our hiatus started, which was right before Doctor Who started for the new season.
Yep.
What are your feelings on it right now?
It's an odd. They're clearly setting up for Clara to leave at the end of the season.
Gonna go with that guy. Yeah, gonna go with that guy and get married, have kids, and have other kids who has kids, and then he's gonna have a little
Time
toy
travel
soldier,
issue.
toy soldier, and yeah.
But yeah, it's clearly setting up for her to leave the show, which is unfortunate. But these
She's
things
been pretty
happen.
good this series.
Yeah, I mean, I actually after the first episode of the season, I was on Nerd HQ, the new Nerd HQ website, who had just written a kind of a scathing review of the first episode, really focusing on Clara and certain elements. And I wrote back, and I just like, you're wrong completely. Like they I really feel that Clara is probably one of the more interesting companions to come along in a while, because Pond was sycophantic companion girl, hot but fine, just like whatever.
Most people don't. Just to interrupt. I'm sorry. Most people don't like Clara, in my opinion, because she's so intertwined with the entire series. The fact that they dispersed her throughout the entire world of Doctor Who, or she was the one that had the original first Doctor choose the right TARDIS and steal it.
Well, I mean, that's not exactly. It is the storyline, but you have to remember that the Great Intelligence went back first and changed it. The first Doctor originally chose the one that Clara tells him to take, but the Great Intelligence went back first and made him choose the other one, which would have been bad. Then she goes back, and all she did was correct things.
right, but my point is she's involved.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of the animosity comes in. But continue.
Well, I mean, the idea it was tougher. She was in the shadow of the Ponds, which they were the longest running companions since Rose,
Right.
at least of the relaunch, not going back to classic series. But then they left. But there were still references to the Ponds throughout the rest of the rest of that season. Then Matt Smith's swan song, the last big scene was having Amy Pond come down the stairs. I mean, it was a figment, but it was.
Well, that's who he was most attached to.
Well, yeah.
Clara wasn't
So
his
I-
companion, really.
I was actually looking forward to how she would be in the new series. Now that the Ponds were gone and Matt Smith was gone, getting separated from them would really let her
Do her thing.
do her thing and show what she can really do. The Doctor, Peter Capaldi, is good. I think it's different than what I'm used to. Obviously, it's a little difficult with his accent.
He sounds so different,
Well,
he-
they decided to let Peter use his natural accent.
and he's talks pretty fast.
Yeah, and it's tough when you're not used to the Scottish accent and he starts talking really, really fast.
Yeah.
It's I mean, when I buy the thing, I'm gonna have to watch it on with subtitles just to understand what the hell he's talking about.
Right. A lot of the banter between him and Clara gets lost because it's so quick.
Yeah.
And it's so difficult to understand him. But I think he's a decent Doctor. I'm not in love with him yet. As far as episodes go, I like the first one. And I even
I
like
loved when he actually. My favorite part about that first episode was after everything calmed down. And it was the climax of the episode. Everything was calm. It was like the calm right before everything exploded, and it was him pouring himself a drink, pouring the robot a drink also. And I just love the line. It's like, I think I'm gonna have to murder you. I'm like, whoa.
yeah, it's a different, more stern, more aggressive Doctor. I liked 1, I liked 2, I didn't like 3 at all. The Robin Hood thing, I just couldn't get into. But 4 was awesome. I loved 4.
And that was the one with Orson Pink, right?
Yes.
The time
Yeah.
travel. That was good.
Yeah. And I haven't watched the most recent one.
I haven't either.
And even the one where they go into the bank vault and steal, I thought that was pretty good too.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
So the bank vault and the Orson Pink one are my 2 favorites right now. And
the Robin Hood thing, I think could have been good with slightly less animosity between the Doctor and Robin.
that was the one where I texted you and I said, "Holy cow, the Doctor is actually the scientist from the Transformers."
Yeah, I mean, he does kind of go. He goes a little nuts in that episode.
He turned into John Turturro.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow, no, don't let this happen. So that's what bugged me. And I remember sending you a text, and you're like, yeah, it happens. But,
They can't all be winners.
right, and that's fine. But the last two have been great. I haven't watched the most recent one, but the last two have been great. I'm looking forward to probably watching this one tonight. All in all, are you happy with...
I'm happy. I am
believe this
happy. As with most of Moffat's work, there's an underlying storyline that will take a season or more to complete. This Promised Land thing. I did like the callback to A Girl in the Fireplace in the premiere episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. John Hurt in one of the episodes, too.
Well, yeah, they flash back to
The War Doctor.
the War Doctor. I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll see where it goes. This whole Promised Land thing, that'll be interesting, I guess.
I guess on the boards they call her Scary Poppins.
Scary Poppins.
I'm
wondering
the
who
owner of heaven, or the welcomer to heaven.
Yeah, I'm wondering who she is in relation to the Doctor.
Right. But all in all, we like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Doctor Who. Check it out. Saturdays. This has been another Empty Room podcast. Copyright 2014. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and especially YouTube. Music by High Congress.